Okay, we are back. Now, for those people wondering what the hell happened the last 2 days and why was your intro and then no videos follow it, well, the proverbial shit hit the fan. And the last 2 days have pretty much been obliterated by the wonderful thing called life. So, I did the intro, right? And then the compressor shit itself. And I just had Monday with the compressor dying and everything, it just went to shit, like spectacularly. So we had to get another compressor, and there she blows. Yeah, so we had to get this delivered. We went from a 240 volt to a 3-phase, and basically doubled the compressor size. We were like, well, you know, when in Rome, you sort of, you go, why the hell would you buy the same compressor again? Why don't you upgrade, considering the other one really was having a bit of a hard time keeping up at best. So this was $1,700, had to be delivered on the back of a ute. It had to be forklifted off, so it required a fair bit of ingenuity and had to be wired into a big honkin' 3-phase power point. It's Chinese made, so who knows how long it's going to last. But the other one was 90 litres. This is 200 litres. I'll show you, we've just moved outside. I'm going to fix this other compressor and take it home, but because I'm not wasting a compressor that's fixable. But we needed to upgrade anyway. So this is the old boy. This thing's seized. The electric motor's fine. Well, it depends how much rain it gets on it. But that was fine. The tank was fine. But this thing, the ye olde pumpy bitty, decided that it didn't want to play ball no more. It was just like, I've been going for 8 years constantly. I'm not going to run anymore. So that was seized up. Well, it's seized slowly, but then it seized. So she's pretty well dead, but I can buy another pump, put it on this and fix it and take it home. But this was, in this workshop, with the amount of work I was doing, this is really struggling to keep up. So I decided, I'm going to shut that door. I'm going to shut the front door. Don't mind the pooing noises. Hey, there we go, door's shut. So we went for a much bigger. That one outside was the biggest of the portable compressors with wheels. This is the smallest with no wheels. And she is a beast. Should have bought the next size one up that was for sale in January. It was on sale at that point in time. It was like $600 off, but can't win them all. But this is a good upgrade. The things you learn about compressors when you're doing restorations at home is you need a really, really good one. It's not that tank capacity, it's the amount of air the thing can produce. That's 21 CFM. The one outside was 11. And, you know, mechanics and that, they don't need massive air compressors. They're not running a rattle gun flat out for 6 hours at a time. Panel shops and that are renowned for having astronomically large air compressors. So, because I'll show you the tool that actually uses the most air possible. Where is it? I put everything away yesterday, hopefully. The old palm sander. That uses more air than any tool known to man. Followed closely by the roll lock. And then a belt sander. Those tools just consume air. They're just like, got some more of that air, I'll have some more, please. It's delicious. So, we are going to tackle this. Yes, I am capable of fixing this one. No, I'm not going to, because we have that panel there, And half the theory of these videos is to show you how to modify and make these panels fit, and run you through all the hiccups and crap that you will encounter when fitting these at home. That's where my knowledge comes in handy. So I encounter all the issues and tell you how you can fix them. Also, that is a lot less time consuming to fit that than fixing that. Well, I don't know, depends on who you are, but you just look at it, goes chewed through here, all the way along, through there. You need to replace the whole gutter anyway. You'd have to unpick the sides, clean up in there, weld them back on. And then rebuild the whole underside. It's just not worth it. It's for the customer's sake, and they're not unlimited budget, because my customers aren't made of money. Some people have customers who are. I don't know how they get those people. But my customers are not made of money, and I'm selling time. I'm not selling anything else. So it's quicker to fit that than it is to repair that. So that comes off, that goes on. Bit of replace, remove and refit, and a little bit of tweaking will work lovely. So we'll get into some time lapsing, and we'll get it jacked up and yank those panels off as carefully as possible. That bottom one won't matter too much, and those two end pieces, but we'll do the two corners after we put in the backs. Not too bad. Had to quote up a Landau yesterday. Well, not really quote up, but accept the job, and it was yeah, that'll be a fun one when I show you what the story with that car is. But that car was a disaster in the back end. So, you wouldn't believe it, but it actually made this one look really good. Didn't even think that was possible. But yes, let's get cracking. Now I was just going to stop it right there for 35 seconds. I don't know what's wrong with this car, but the floor is dead flat. But it's got a slope. Now I pumped up the tyre thinking, yeah, that's flat, let's see if that straightens up, but wow. She's starting to think, I think the front end of this car has been apart, and I reckon somebody put the wrong spring on the wrong side, and it's snapped over one side. So I'm going to have to counteract that when I put up the stands to level it back up. Because I know for a fact when you take these back panels off, particularly when you take the boot floor out as well, the chassis rails are a little bit flimsy. But I'll be putting in some square tube across here, there to there, because when you take these back panels out, the quarter panels creep in a little bit, and you don't want to lose your boot gap. And I was even thinking about putting in a bar from the floor to under here, just to keep the height the same too. I just don't want to risk losing where these go, because the back panel sits on them. It's along the raised rod, and you're never going to get that up. But got to sort out its balancing act. It seems to be a little bit leaned over. So I wandered down there, got the leftover pallet from what the compressor turned up in, and sliced myself a sliver. It's wafer thin. I'm hoping that when I jack this up, I can slip it between the stand and the car and it levels it out, because I really would prefer this car to be level when I go to take the stuff off, because it does help, as you might think. I can't really control that tire going flat, all I can do is keep pumping it up, and probably when I go to weld the shit on, I'll pump it up again to make sure it's at its max. But I can't control that end of things. I can level this end out and hope for the best, you know. Situations aren't magic and ideal, but yeah, they are what they are, and you being audience, you just have to deal with it. I just hope that the ramblings and the crap we watch is entertaining and informative, because that's the goal. Don't do what Donnie Don't does. If you watch The Simpsons, you'd get that. So, I'm going to jack up this side, and hopefully, if all goes well, Jack's got enough height, and this will slip in there. Obviously going to compress the spring a little. It doesn't have to do a whole lot. Hey, yeah. Come on now. We're wing. I reckon if I was a Tibetan girl, that will slip in there now. Yeah, I'm touching star. Yeah, yeah. Yes. This is a gamble. I don't know if it's going to work or not, so don't sue me if it doesn't work. And stipple. What do you guys think? You think it's level? Possibly not. Do you care? Don't know. Away with you. Off with their head. I think it's not bad. Alright. Now what we're going to do is we'll drill out these hot welds. Once I clean them up and see if I can find them. Drill them out. I'm going to belt sand all the way along here and get these ones off. This is after I weld in a bar. And I'm not convinced that will take much separation. It's not really brilliantly attached. So we'll just wing it. So, we've welded find 3 bits of tube welded together to find a piece that's long enough to fit this gap. Way wider than you think. So, we've got it in hammered nicely. I didn't mind pushing it in, which forces the quarters out a little bit, because remember when you weld, it pulls shit together. Little known fact, that's why when you say you weld like that, you put a blob on the top, the panels do this. Or on the bottom, weld on the bottom of a flat, it does that. It's because it's pulling the metal together. So if I push these in, effectively, ever so slightly pushing the quarters out, when I weld it, it should be back to where it was. Also, they're only there to keep it about close to where it needs to be. So I'll just take a little tap there, a little tap there, and then I will be confident removing this, and these will remain in their location. I've seen a lot of people pull these cars apart, and I've seen a lot of people do some bad things to these cars. The ones that really worry me are the ones who go and just chop off, and then you've got this huge quarter panel just flapping around. How do you know that quarter panel is going to go back where it came from? I think, although most people probably think, bog's a wonderful thing. Now I'm more interested in it remaining the shape it's supposed to be. And I certainly would not cut one side of the carrot and then cut the other side out. And I've seen enough stuff go wrong over my time to know that you should never start 5 different tasks and leave them all half finished. The car is a unibody. It requires all of these. You take one piece, it's piss weak. You put them all together, it's strong as fuck. If you take something out and then something out, and I'm staring at the next one, you take that out, you take that out, the car's starting to get really, really weak. My suggestion would be just do one little area, finish it, and I mean finish it, then go to somewhere else. Don't do this and that and this. Just stay in one area, finish one area, then you end up with, because if you're not careful, that's how project cars die. They're called dream crushers. You end up with a car that somebody's hacked half of it apart and given up because it's just overwhelmed them. One of the best ways to not overwhelm yourself is just stick to a small area and finish that area, because there's enough work in there, you'll go mentally insane by the time you've finished it. Lonsdale. Just gotta love the skids, don't you? It's like Elizabeth. So I'm just gonna zap these in, and I'll know that the quarter panel ain't gonna move. I will zip this off. I'll probably leave these corners in until that's on and that's on, and then I can knock them out, rebuild here and here, and stick in some new ones. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you about that Landau I saw yesterday. Woo! I don't know who did it, but you are never ever going to be able to bolt that exhaust panel back onto that car. Woo! Some interesting stuff. We also did a massive cleanup in the last couple of days. You may have noticed the workshop, cars are just everywhere. We realised that the forklift would, just change the compressor. That was a great idea. It's a bit of a more of a raw video today. It's going to have a lot more me speaking and you seeing exactly what I'm doing with some time lapse. I like to skip a few things because they're just. But yeah, there we go. That's in. That's not going to move. I'll be comfortable taking this out. I exposed. There's only about 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 welds in here. That's actually a really good one. That's not even hardly rusted at all. But the problem is there's going to be rust between the seams, so whether you wanted to or not, you have to open it up, unclean it, sandblast it, make it pretty, treat it, and then put it back on. The amount of work involved. And if you just change this panel, you're cutting out half the work because you don't have to fix this piece. You have to fix this piece. That's what I was kind of getting at, sort of. Yeah, you can fix it, but time-wise and getting it done, I don't know, this year, it's better off just on-off. So you're probably not going to like it, but I actually have to cut this video here because it's going to be far too long and take 400 years to upload onto YouTube. However, the next one will follow after very shortly. as in, you know, this one's just going to be a long one. The next one will take off exactly where this one leaves off. But I've ground down, used the belt sander, took down all the welds. All I'll do is I'll slip that off and keep going, and just stay tuned for the next one. I know this one had more talking in it, but you know, I had to catch you up on what's happened and where we're at and how this is going, and etc, etc. But yeah, the next one will have a bit more action in it, a little less talking. But yeah, I wanted to catch you all up and see, prove that I wasn't dead or anything like that. So stay tuned, keep watching, don't forget to share and subscribe. It really helps my channel.